sequencing. There are a lot of ideas you people have already gained and generated through very insightful discussions in last couple of days. So Dr. Ruma, this is visible or not? Start of this DNA sequencing, I just want to brief what I will discuss today. I will elaborate the history and the idea behind the DNA sequencing methodology, methods, how they, the scientists who discovered it, they have interpreted it the way any sequence is being read. Apart from that, I will discuss some automated DNA sequencing. I will just give a small 2-3 minutes lecture on that. And I will show one or two of my sequences which is submitted long back in GenBank NCBI. I have more than 70 sequences which is submitted in GenBank. It is either a virus genome or a stretch-up genome or some lactobacillus strain. These all are submitted into the GenBank. So I will show you after submission how it looks like. What are the information you can drive with the sequence submitted. So there are broadly two methods for DNA sequencing. Earlier in 1973, there was one more DNA sequencing method which is of no longer in use. So the two main methods are the chemical method, which is also called Maxam Gilbert method, the name after its inventor, and the chain termination method. It is also known as Sanger dideoxy method, after the name of the inventor. The chain termination method is now the method usually used just because of its high speed and simplicity. In this procedure, the DNA to be sequenced is prepared as a single stranded molecule so that it can act as a template for DNA synthesis in the sequencing reaction. And obviously there is use of an enzyme, and that enzyme is DNA polymerase 1, which is derived from E. coli. It is used to copy the DNA template. Fine. This enzyme actually needs a primer to start synthesis. These primers are actually synthesized oligo or small stretches of nucleotides. Generally in experimental laboratories, these small stretches of DNA are used as a primer or generally called as oligos. The primer used can be either a DNA restriction fragment complementary to the single stranded template, or it can be a short sequence of complementary DNA that has been synthesized chemically. When it is chemically synthesized, they all are oligos, and it is synthesized with the help of very sophisticated instruments. So the history of DNA sequencing, it starts with 1970s with the development of like I have already told, Maxam Gilbert or Sanger method. But the most notable work is actually done by this great guy, Frederick Sanger, in 1975. And the DNA sequencing, whatever is in use today, either in a forensic science or any research laboratory, they just follow blindly the method which is proposed by this scientist. So this is a timeline of the history timeline. Initially, it's a discovery of double stranded DNA in 1953 by Watson and Crick. And then E. coli alanine tRNA was the first nucleic acid molecule to be sequenced in 1965. And by that time, there was not much use of restriction restriction enzymes and other RFLP. There were not much of use. So I can understand as a molecular biologist that how much problem they have faced to just sequence this small molecule. And 1970, restriction enzyme type 2, which is widely used in all the laboratory purposes, is being discovered in 1970. Then this Sanger sequencing, that Maxim Gilbert sequencing and Sanger sequencing, they all come in late 80s. And 1983, when the discovery of PCR, the whole system, the whole method becomes very simple, because now the small fragments can be generated very easily, and the whole process become simplified. And from like 90s or in the start of this decade, almost all the small genomes, plants, and other, even the humans has been uh, sequenced. In 2003, the whole genome sequencing has been completed. So this is how the understanding of the molecular biology has been increased, and it is easy to understand the basic mechanism, the inborn error of metabolism, and several other uh, information which was not easy to get just by visualizing or by any chemical or immunological method. So the term DNA sequencing refers to sequencing methods for determining the order of the nucleotide bases. These bases are adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine in a molecule of DNA. Knowledge of DNA is actually indispensable, and the use are diagnosis, biotechnology, forensic biology, biological systematics, bioinformatics, transgenic research, computational biology. There are so many uses of this kind of things. So as there's a several participants which are beginners in biology, there are some very basic terminology which I have incorporated here. DNA is a chemical entity, nothing else, and it is made up of 4 letters, A, T, C, Z. Then gene. Gene are obviously stretches of DNA, but there is a kind of demarcation. There's a kind of uh, segregation that genes are DNA. That is fine, but all DNAs are not genes. Only those stretches of DNA can be called a gene, which can generate a functional protein, function polynucleotides. So this is how we can identify a gene. And there are some other compliances which you can understand later on. So gene sequencing, DNA sequencing, nucleotide sequencing, base sequencing, these are all a similar terminology which is being used. I have already told that not all DNA sequences are gene. And there are some compliances, like there should be promoter, there should be terminator. Everything is there, because to start transcription and translation, they need a promoter. And to regulate the whole scenario, you need a terminator. So this is the primary requirement to be a gene. So I'm directly coming to Sanger sequencing or chain termination method. This is the history of it is actually developed by Sanger and its colleagues in 1977. And for this novel work, he got a most highest prize in science domain, that is Nobel Prize in 1980. And this is the method which actually find out the nucleotide sequence of unknown DNA strand. And recently, you all have heard about this next generation sequencing. This is actually the upgradation of Sanger sequencing method, where large scale genome analysis is being done. So this is the basic principle. In vitro synthesis of DNA strand, and by using terminators. Terminators here are di-deoxynucleotide. There are 4 types of nucleotide, as I have said, ATCG. Every nucleotide have their terminator in the name of di-deoxy. If it is A, it is adenine. If it is T, it is thymine, C, cytosine, and later on. So how this di-deoxy, there are several questions which can arise in your mind. So why we are using this di-deoxy, and what is the function, what is the use, why you are using this? Fine. So you can see the difference between one DNTP and one di-deoxy DNTP. There is a difference. You can see a hydroxyl group is there, and here there is no hydroxyl group. This is the most prominent difference. And with the hair, because of this, formation of phosphodiester bond halts. Fine. If the phosphodiester bond formation halts, it means the chain elongation will stop there. So this molecule acts as a terminator for a particular nucleotide. Fine. So now you have an idea that in this method, we are using one terminator. And why? Because it has a specific function. So the requirements to start the Sanger method is single standard template. These sequencing methods, in all the sequencing method, you can't take the double standard DNA as a whole. You have to separate it. You have to separate with the help of, generally heat is used to separate this coil. Primers, DNA polymerase, because this is in vitro. In vitro means inside the test tube. This is a experiment which is carried out in a research laboratory or in a sequencing companies. So they use all the synthetic things. Fine. So the procedure is denaturation, separation. Primer attachment and extension of bases. If it is like sequence, that is one strand of DNA, the primer starts filling from one end and it starts elongation from the other end. Then you terminate and gel electrophoresis. Now you could see how it happens. So this is the continuation from the last slide, that DNA template is treated with heat to become single stranded. A short single strand primer is radioactivity leveled and it is added to the DNA template. Fine. All the DNA templates are divided into 4 tubes, and you can see here. So this is the single stranded DNA. The DNAs are, from the single source. They are not different. And addition of this terminator. Fine. So I'm again one thing. Now you can see this one. This is a DNA template. This is the hypothetical DNA template. Fine. This DNA template is lie in the from orientation of 3 prime to 5 prime. These ends are actually called primes, 3 prime to 5 prime. And the primers is added from 3 prime end. Fine, with the help of this enzyme and oligos. And after these 4 tubes, these all are mixed. And in single tube, these separate or different terminators is being added. Now, here, this is G, guanine. And you can see here it's a GG. So it comes like here and stop or terminate the chain here. Fine. So first termination, second termination. Likewise, this is a DDATP terminator. You can see where it is. Here is the A. Fine. So here this reaction stops. DTTP. This is T. So reaction will stop here. Fine. And the last one is CTP. The reaction will stop here. So this all when run into a gel. Fine. Because you can see that भाई यहाँ से you can be confused. I mean stretches अलग अलग होंगे वहाँ पे. जब एक आप पूरा किसी का जीनोम लेते हो या एक बड़ा स्ट्रेच लेते हो तो वहां पे कई सारे आपको स्ट्रेचेस मिलेंगे. ठीक है. तो जहां पे भी टर्मिनेट हो रहा है इट मींस वहां पे वो पर्टिकुलर न्यूक्लियोटाइड प्रेजेंट है. ठीक है. तो ये जब आप रन करोगे उस पूरे के पूरे ट्यूब में से निकाल के पूरे सैंपल को, ठीक है, तो आपको बैंड्स अलग अलग साइजेस के दिखेंगे. ठीक है. बट चूंकि आपने यहाँ पे जो टर्मिनेटर यूज किया है वो DDGTP है, तो जहां पे भी आपको बैंड दिख रहा है वहां की रीडिंग G होगी, दूसरी नहीं होगी. यहाँ पे आपने ATP यूज किया है तो जो भी आपको बैंड्स मिल रहे हैं वो सारे के सारे बैंड्स आपके A के हैं, दूसरे हो ही नहीं सकते हैं, क्योंकि वहीं पे आपका रिएक्शन स्टॉप हुआ है. और ये आपको लेंथ अलग अलग इसलिए दिख रहा है क्योंकि स्ट्रेचेस तो वो पूरे के आपने पूरा का पूरा जीनोम लिया है या कोई लॉन्ग स्ट्रेच लिया है. ठीक है. तो नेचुरली वो जो टर्मिनेटर है वो उस पूरे स्ट्रेचेस वो बहुत सारे क्वाइल्स होंगे. मैंने कहा ना कि सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड लेते हैं, एक स्टैंड है, दूसरा स्टैंड, बहुत सारे स्टैंड अलग 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 समझ लो उस पूरे के पूरे सैप में वो तैर रहे हैं. ठीक है. तो जहां जहां पे टर्मिनेटर हुआ तो हो सकता है कोई स्ट्रेच के यहाँ पे आकर के टर्मिनेट किया या यहाँ पे आके टर्मिनेट किया, तो जो उतना जो साइज आ रही है, ठीक है, वो तो उस साइज के हिसाब से बैंडिंग पैटर्न आएगा. ठीक है. लेकिन बैंडिंग पैटर्न भले ही साइज के हिसाब से आ रहा है, टर्मिनेट वो उस पर्टिकुलर न्यूक्लियोटाइड पे हो रहा है. ठीक है. तो जो भी आपको दिख रहा है जब आप रीड करोगे तो वहां पे आप उसी न्यूक्लियोटाइड को रीड करोगे जो टर्मिनेटर आपने यूज किया है. नाउ अब देखो यहाँ पे आप रीड करो, है ना, इस तरह से इसने यहाँ पे रन किया है. यहाँ पे GG हो गया, है ना. अब यहाँ पे C आ रहा है क्योंकि यहाँ पे DCTP का बैंड है. नाउ हियर इट इज एडेनिन, नाउ हियर इट इज थाइमिन. नाउ सो दिस रीडिंग इज फ्रॉम bottom to top. This is how the reading is being made for any nucleotide sequence. This is the kind of staining and you can see this is a stained photograph picture. तो इस तरह से रीडिंग आ रही है. ठीक है. सबसे नीचे वाला T है, देन A, देन यहाँ पे ये A हो गया, then last one is G. So with the help of this banding pattern, you can read the whole sequence, no matter कितना बड़ा sequence है. It is easily readable. So the next sequencing method is Maxam-Gilbert sequencing method. Here, this is also now known as chemical cleavage method, and this was actually given by Maxam-Gilbert in 1977. So this single-stranded DNA fragment is sequenced and is end-leveled with the treatment of alkaline phosphatase to remove 5' phosphate. They actually rely on cleavage from one side, and they label the DNA fragment with the help of different chemicals. This is a hardcore chemical method, and it is sometimes hazardous to use so much of chemical. That's why after the invention of this method, after few years, the people stop using this technique. Fine. So the labeling of DNA fragment, they use 4 kind of chemicals: dimethyl sulfate, acid, hydrogen, and hydrogen plus salt. I'm telling you some basic concept behind this. Actually, when you separate a DNA strand, it means either you are separating purine strand, purine, bonding, or pyrimidine bonding. Fine. So this is either A plus G or C or T. Got it? But when you are reading the whole strand as an observer, you don't know that at particular place it is A, T, C or G. Fine. But the that structure is like A plus T or C plus G. Fine. So you just remember that to read this, we also run to referential point. One reference is cytosine and one reference is guanine. Fine. So with the help of complementarity of the bands, we can identify that at which particular place, which nucleotide is there. This is the basic concept behind this chemical cleavage method. And this is a procedure, general procedure, which is being followed by Maxam-Gilbert. That they again taken the 4 Eppendorfer 4 test tubes to carry out their this sequencing reaction. Then they 4 are incubated with piperidine, which cleaves the sugar phosphate backbone of DNA next to the residue that has been modified. Fine. And they load the reaction on the page gel and expose to the X-ray film, because it contains radioactively labeled compounds. It is easy to identify the bands. So this is the banding pattern. Fine. One G reaction, and on the other hand, this is C reaction. Fine. These two are referential point. Now this is A, G, and C and T. When this is run, if the both are complementary, then here it is G, and if there is no complementarity, it is not G, it is A only. Got it? Here it is a reference point at left hand side for guanine, and right hand side a reference point for cytosine. And you can again identify with the that C plus T cleavage. Here 2 bands are coming, but there is no reference point for C. It means the both are T. Here it is again T, and this reference point is C. Here this is C, this is C, and again this is C. Fine. So this is how, with the help of two referential points, the sequencing method is being carried out by Maxham and Gilbert. I'm elaborating their procedure again. They radioactive level at 1,5' end of the DNA fragments. ठीक है? Chemical treatment generates breaks at a small proportion of 1, 2, or 4 nucleotide bases in each of the 4 reactions. For purine, they use formic acid. For guanine, they use dimethyl sulfate. For pyrimidine, they use hydrazine. And in this hydrazine, when they use NaCl, the salt, then T is vanished and only cytosine. Fine. They added separate chemicals in separate tubes. And that's why a series of labeled fragment is generated. And these fragments, that is the 4 different reactions, are when electrophoresed side by side for their size separation. Fine. And with the help of this size separation and reference point, the whole sequence is being read. But I am again telling you, because of the much use of chemical and those highly hazardous chemical, this procedure is no longer in use. I am showing you this is a sequence which I have sequenced during 2009 and 10, and I have submitted this sequence in 2010. So this is a whole genome sequence of a virus which infects cotton in natural condition. I have collected the samples from Sri Ganganagar district of Rajasthan, and I have go for a whole genome sequencing. By that time, it was really difficult to use PCR and amplify this 3 kb or 4 kb of whole genome size. So I used some novel methods, and that paper has been published in 2010. You can go and you can read the paper. Without using the PCR, I have amplified the whole genome and cloned in pBlueScript SK+ and go for Sanger sequencing method. Actually, I'm not going for my procedure, which I have used to clone this segment of virus or what. The only thing you can gain some knowledge, you can identify, I mean, you can drive some information. When you are submitting any stretch of DNA or a genome after analysis, you will get one excision number. This is your permanent number through which your sequence is being identified for your for jab tak ki wo hai us pe. You can say that virtually it is immortal. And organism, if it is a stretch of an organism, that information you can take it, that this is a virus, this is Gemini viridae family, Begum virus. And if some paper is being published with the by analyzing that sequence, the information will automatically come out, and the journal name, everything is, you can take it from that sequence itself. And each and every stretch, if it is a whole genome, I have told you that there are so many genes. So identification of gene is one of the most important part when you are analyzing any genome sequence. So this is the identification of genes which I have done. Like the genes name, it is of like some code protein gene, pre-code protein, transcriptional activator protein, replicase gene. The informations are, you can find it, and in the last, the whole genome is there. Fine. So this is a beautiful information which you can take it from any sequence which is submitted in the gene bank. Fine. Uh, so now, if you have any question or anything, you can discuss.